What's up, Bills Mafia? Welcome to the K-Gun Report. I am your host, Scott. Happy Tuesday. We have another preseason game in the books. We're talking about it today. Jerry and myself. We got one more coming up on Thursday, and then it's regular season time. So hit up the comments. We'll talk about depth chart stuff. We'll talk about surprise players this past week. We'll talk about our Kyle Allen. He's doing enough. We all think so. Join the conversation, join the Stampede, as we always say. Let's hit this intro and get this party started.
Hey, Bills Mafia. This is Don Beebe of the Buffalo Bills, and you're listening to the one and only K-Gun Report. Oh, and you all know, go Buffalo.
That's right. Go Buffalo. 2-0 in the preseason. Who would have thunk? It is just preseason, guys. We understand that. We are very optimistic, fan-first perspective Buffalo Bills fans that love our Buffalo Bills. 2-0 is 2-0. We like what we're seeing as a group. Lots of positive coming out of this preseason so far. But we've got a lot to talk about because in this past one, obviously the starters didn't play, and we saw a lot out of our depth and our backup. Fun stuff. But first, let me introduce my brother. What's up, Jerry?
Hey, what's happening, Bills Mafia? What's happening, Scott? Yes, you did mention 2-0. We all know what the preseason means, but it depends how the preseason goes and the fluency of it and all that stuff. And I think scoring 30 points a game and our offense not stopping and our defense dominating throughout says a different story than just and it doesn't mean doesn't mean preseason game because a lot's being done that we're seeing that's good. So good things happening.
Oh, for sure. And there's a lot of changes, obviously. So we're on high alert, watching everything happen as they happen here in Buffalo. Start off with the comments right off the get. Nate Nacho, best handle on social media, according to Swank. I've seen some good ones, but Nate, I think you take the cake here, bud. Hey-oh. First Facebook comment here. Bills backups looking good. Yes, the Bills backups did look good. Keep the comments coming, guys. We'll take your comments as they come in, and we'll talk anything you want to talk about. It is still the preseason, so we'll get that. Welcome to the K-Gun Report, where your voice is heard. So you leave a comment, and if it's appropriate, keep it. Or after 9, you can say some stuff, but keep it clean until then. We'll share it and get your conversation going. Your voice is just as important as ours. With that being said, our sponsors are very important. We have a bunch of sponsors in Otis and Lisa's, Dirty Jacks, and Trails End this year-round sponsors, beautiful thing. But I would be remiss to miss the opportunity to tell you about a spot that's right in the heart of the Finger Lakes, Phelps, New York. 2 local favorites are bringing people together. At Otis and Lisa's, it's all about flavor, Finger Lakes' finest wings, fresh-made pizza, and the kind of quality you don't just find anywhere. It's something you come back for. Then just down the road, right around the corner, step into Dirty Jack's Tavern, a true local hangout, cold local beers, a welcoming atmosphere, a place where everyone feels at home. Owned by Andy and Lisa Mattoon, it's more than great food and drinks. It's about community, connection, and supporting Phelps every day. Come for the food, stay for the people, be part of something local. Again, that's right smack dab in the middle of Phelps. And Andy and Lisa, I mean, they're local people that help out local everything. They're all about the local businesses. So love that they're our sponsor this year. Side note, my son got his first experience in the Village of Friends. We're country boys, so we're out here, and he was able to go to Otis and Lisa, Andy's and Lisa's child. They spent the night. They had a sleepover, and Jack got the experience, Jared, of riding his bikes around the town, going to the parks and the community centers and all that stuff. So it was a beautiful experience for him. I was happy for him. But that's what they're all about there. They're all about bringing community together.
Nice. It's I remember we used to do that as kids too, is drive through Clifton with our bikes, and we were country guys outside of it. So getting to go in town to see what everybody does, where the hangouts are with the YMCA, whatever it was back then, or it is today. I remember that.
It's core memories. Now he wants to move into the Village, so that's a problem. We're not moving.
Hey, I'll mention the second year long sponsor that we have is Trails End Restaurant. There's a place in Dresden where the air smells like Sunday morning, fresh bread, sizzling bacon, and coffee that could wake you with a smile. At Trails End Restaurant, comfort food isn't just a menu item, it's a promise. hearty homestyle meals made from fresh quality ingredients, pies baked that very morning, and folks who greet you like family, even if it's the first time through the door. Stop by Trails End Restaurant today, Route 14, Main Street, Dresden, because sometimes the best trails lead you home. Hey, Scott, how was that burrito this weekend?
I tell you, 24/7, the boys at the K Gun Report at 24/7 Buff Pandemonium. We had our final meeting before this year's regular season rally, which is happening September 5th at Reinvention Brewing, 1 o'clock to 7 p.m. But let's hit up on that Trails End real quick, Jared. The burrito, I finally had a taste of it. I tell you what, I was floored. The combination of all the breakfast burrito classics, but you throw in that crispy hash brown on the bottom, that flavor just all gets together. I kept looking at Jared and Swank going, oh my gosh. So Finger Lakes has it all. I mean, I'm a foodie. So Otis and Lisa's, pizza, wings, subs, all that good stuff. You want drinks, you go to the Dirty Jacks. You want some good breakfasts, you better hit up Trails End.
Hell yes.
It was an amazing burrito. So thank year-round sponsors. We love you, and we hope to keep this going. Lisa Passion John says, we received our 4 quarts of that pink stuff. It'll be chilled for next Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Lisa also says, good evening, boys. Best looking twins in the Finger Lake. Oh,
nice. Thank you.
Another side note, I like to add these in today. We had 5 sets of twins that graduated in our class at Mid Lakes. Kind of crazy. Something in the water. We only had 150 kids, so wonder what's going on. Johns. The Johns are active today, Jared. Hey, everyone. We're stocked up and ready for the rally. Awesome. Love it. Can't wait to see you. For those of you who watching, tuning in, wondering what the rally is, we host our regular season rally every year. This will be the 6th annual. An event that we have at Reinvention Brewing, an event that raises money for the Help One Foundation. Our friend of the show and friend of ours and former Buffalo Bills linebacker, a legend, as they say. He was a legend of the game at Highmark this a couple of years ago. Mark Maddox. Mark Maddox is Help One Foundation. We raise money for that every year. He shows up, signs autographs, talks to you guys, and he's an awesome person to get to know. So have you ever met an NFL player? Have you ever met a really cool NFL player? Mark Maddox is one of those guys. This event has food trucks. Another one bites the crust. This has a popcorn vendor, Tony's Popcorn. We have merchandise, trinkets and all that good stuff, merchandise. We have hats that are that's being done. Jared, first time ever, we're having a sports cards event there.
Jockstrap memorabilia.
Very good. I hate
cards, helmets, footballs, a lot of signed stuff.
Yep, and we also have raffles that includes cards, jerseys, and helmets. 50-50. And obviously, Help One Foundation. If you don't want any of that stuff, we'll have something going where you can scan in a code and a QR code and just donate. It's a wonderful cause that helps children all over the place. A lot of them get backpacks and stuff for school, books to read. Mark does a great thing with the Help One Foundation, and it's pretty amazing. He comes all the way out from Arizona to do this. So it's a great time. Again, September 5th, Reinvention Brewing, 1 to 7. It is kid friendly, just so you all know. And the awesome thing is Reinvention releases a beer, their Fanatics beer. It's a cream ale. It's a beautiful beer. And it's a win-win-win.
The Mafia vets are going to be there too. They're going to be, some of them will be dressed up in their
Super Fans
gear. And so we'll have Bill's Hood, Buffalo Spartan, Bill's Soldier. We'll have a lot of them there. So those are great opportunities for kids to meet some pretty cool people and some pretty cool costume people too. I think it's awesome.
Oh yeah. Photo ops and all that good stuff. So it's like I said, it's an amazing thing. We have a lot of fun doing it. $5 is the cover basically. And with that $5, you are automatically entered for a chance to win. You see where Jared's finger is? That it's a authentic helmet. It's a real helmet with pads in it. Not the large, but it's a youth size, but it still fits the bill. It's still
I would say it's probably a little bit bigger than the new MIDI collectible helmets. That it's a little bit bigger than that, but it is a custom make, red on red, red stripe, red numbers, red warning, red logo, Standing Buffalo, the white face mask. It is fully padded. It is a 10-year used game helmet, not the NFL game, but the youth game. So it is pretty cool.
It is pretty cool. And Mark will be signing that. So whoever wins that, you go get it signed by Mark. One of one for you collectors out there. It's a great opportunity for sure.
And it's a white pearl finish, so it looks nice.
Yeah, it sure does. John Roberts says Keon Coleman was running on the sideline during practice, and that is a positive for sure. Alicia says, smile, heart face. Keep the comments coming in, guys. We're talking Buffalo Bills football. First topic, Jared. Not necessarily Buffalo Bills, but I want your opinion on this. And you guys in the comment, I want your opinion on this. You might not know a lot about it, but like my first gut instinct tells me a couple things that is interesting, but it is weird what's gone on in the past day in the NFL. The statement was, we are officially witnessing history in modern football. The Cleveland Browns have agreed to waive tight end Dequan Wright, paving the way for an unprecedented move back to the college ranks. He's going to sign an NI deal with LSU. The move follows a landmark court ruling granting a group of players in the NFL training camps the right to enter the NCAA transfer portal. Very interesting. Very interesting. I know there's an educational part, Jared, that I'm on board with you about. There is a scholarship / spot where kids want to go to college and get an education part about it. I want your take on what this whole thought process. Now, granted, we don't know all the rules and regulations and what goes on with this, but we do know that he's going to LSU. He's going to sign a nil deal, which guarantees him money. He got cut by the Browns. Weird. I think it's just weird. It puts the NFL and NCAA in a weird spot. If you can't make an NFL team, but you could still play 1 year of eligibility at college, you're going to go back there. What's your take before I get too much into it?
So the new rules in college happened a couple years ago. Was once you turn 19 or once you enter into NCAA, you have 5 years of eligibility to play. You can get red shirt and play 4 years. You could play a year, get red shirt, play 3 years, but you only have 5 years to do it. I think there are 16 players or so that entered this year's draft that still had at least one more year available. When they found out that there's possibly they wouldn't make the team, they found a loophole where they could go back and be eligible for that 1 year to play. I know there's other divisions, the ACC and other conferences that are ahead of this already. They're coming up with contracts that ban that if any player participates in any NFL type professional league, then they will be disqualified to return to the NCAA. There's going to be a lot of lawyers involved in the next couple months or years for this, but I know what SEC, is that what LSU's in? I think they're in the works of coming up with a plan to nip this in the bud as well. Although there's speculation that they're going to join the team. The NCAA is getting ahead of it, and I don't think it's going to happen. There'll probably be a lot of money involved, but once you go professional, once you sign a contract with a professional team, your contract is going to the facility and practicing. You are contracted. Then that should null and void your contract to go back to college. You can go back and get a degree like a lot of players have in the past, but to participate in the game, I think that's BS, especially if you go back just to play. If you go back, you have to add stuff to it. You have to no scholarship. You have to have education. You have to have a full scan of classes. You have to have a certain GPA to play. So those rules have to be, I don't know if it's ever going to happen, but there's a lot of stuff there. There's a lot of moving parts that need to happen. But from what I've gathered, the NCAA is trying to get ahead of this a little bit more. They understand that the lawyers are going to have to get involved, but I don't think these players are going to play.
There you go. So I didn't look that much into it. My gut tells me like it just seemed off to me. And you're right. We can have this whole argument of how the NFL does this and then how the NCAA makes so much money off these huge stadiums that the players deserve to get paid. It's almost now like college is a resume for the NFL, which I mean, come on. There's kids that are getting scholarships and a lot of money to have them come and play, but there's also kids that want to make the world a better world. Not for nothing, sports. I'm a big football fan. I'm an advocate for sports. I love youth, college, high school, all of that. But I think the college platform should be used for education to make the world a better place. If you're going to play a sport, I think that's great. If you get a scholarship, I think that's great. But paying these kids, I don't know. There's got to be some other way. I don't know the answer of how this money that the college is making. Go ahead. What do you got?
I do. Remember the program, that movie back in the day, how the boosters and the programs like that would pay kids on the side?
Yep.
NCAA, they had bad mojo back then. Bring them back. Bring back the people who are part of that alumni, part of that football squad, part of the athletics there, the boosters, the rich people that coming out there. Have them pay the athletes to play. You keep your scholarships and money towards the students. Have the boosters of the program pay these kids. Bam, done.
There you go. There you go. Like I said, I don't have an answer. But when I see someone coming into the NFL ranks, practice with an NFL squad, not make the team and say, well, I can make millions of dollars in college, it tastes wrong. It just doesn't, it leaves a bad taste in the mouth. So I'm not one to tell anybody how to make money, but there's a lot of money going into the college, in colleges all around the world, and it should be for education. Should be for education.
Yes,
let's continue the Browns topic. Joe Brady expects CJ Gardner-Johnson to play in the first game. Thanks, John Robert. Nate Nacho mentions Browns naming Watson starting quarterback is also the most Brownsy move ever. Leave it to the Cleveland to make me actually root for Shedeur Sanders, that is. Not for nothing. Why? I don't get it. They drafted Gabriel. They drafted Shedeur Sanders. Watson has his issues. They brought him in and paid him a shitload of money.
That's why.
But is that why? I mean,
this team's in shambles right now. So if you're in shambles, why not pay the guy play the guy that you're paying? Maybe they're saving Shedeur Sanders and Gabriel for maybe when they get a decent team in there, then they could start playing them guys. But for now, let's not ruin our future. Let's keep Watson in there.
Well,
Watson's a lot of money.
If they keep doing what they're doing, then they'll have that first round draft pick and they can get Manning. So now they'll have 4 quarterbacks on their roster.
There you go.
That's hilarious. I'm sorry, Nate. I meant to keep your comment up there so we could talk about it.
Or they trade that first one away and get 2 top 10s.
I mean, not for nothing. To have a handful of quarterbacks that they're not utilizing the way they should could spark interest in some other teams.
There you go.
There you go. There you go. Very good. Keep the comments coming in, guys. Let's talk some Bills football. Bills played a preseason game. Second one on a Saturday. Wait. I got to mention this first. You're wearing a red hat. I'm wearing a red hat. You got that red helmet behind you. And we talk about helmets and jersey concepts and all that stuff all the time. My most favorite jersey scheme, the outlier of the jerseys that I love the most, is the red helmet with the white away uniforms. It was announced today that the Buffalo Bills will, in fact, be wearing the red helmets with all white away uniforms on Christmas against Denver.
Mm-hmm.
Jared, you don't understand how go back, guys, and look up like Google HD images of the 90s Bills away jerseys. And it's funny, all I picture all the away games they had, I always find the Jim Kelly playing against the 49ers. With the dirt background. But that is such a sexy look for the Buffalo Bills. I love the fact that they're bringing the red helmets back. It may be something that they are really considering doing every year. But the fact that it's Christmas, red helmet, all white, they made my day with that one when I saw that today. What's your feeling on that?
No, it's like the absolute perfect color setup for any uniform. You know, the full red helmet with the Buffalo Charge on it, and then the crisp white jerseys from top to bottom with just enough red to interact with all that white. And it is beautiful. I'd be interested to see how the sock setup is. I know they're going to start with the red on top, but I know Allen likes to wear the long reds. So we'll see what happens, but it's going to look sharp. Get them football cards out because they're going to look nice.
Yeah, man. That when I saw that, I was like, yep, wearing the red cap today. That's what's happening. All right. So you have this week with Jared and myself. You will have next week with me and Jared. Swank's been busy. Our friend, our brother has been given an opportunity to travel down to Nashville and have his music recognized by, I'm not exactly sure what the category they're falling for, but they qualified for
the Josie. It's called the Josie Award, and I think it's the best single album.
There you go, in Nashville. And not only did he do that, but he went and he booked himself an acoustic solo out there. So Our buddy Swank is living out his dream, and we love to see it happening right before our eyes. He will return to us in a couple weeks, but you're stuck with Jerry and myself for the next 2 weeks. Maybe we'll get someone on next week, Jared. What do you think?
Sounds good to me.
All right. Lisa says, keep the comments coming in, guys. I like to hit them up as they come in. Saturday's game was amazing. Who do you think they're going to cut? They all looked amazing. The beautiful thing about how she also says so excited for him. The beautiful thing about how the NFL works now with these preseason games and only having 3 is that they don't cut until the end.
That's a blessing.
That is a blessing. We are able to evaluate these guys, and teams are be able to, as fan first perspective, armchair general managers, us, but real managers are able to keep these guys for a longer period of time to assess and evaluate and see how they fit the team and how they'll make the team better. I think there's so much depth on this team, Lisa, that I don't want to say who do you think they're going to cut, because I think there's a lot of surprise players out there that performed, especially this past week against the Cleveland Browns, where I don't know, maybe that'll be a show next week before the actual cuts are made. But I tell you what, their depth has made it difficult. What's your overall perspective, Jared, on that statement by Lisa? Who do you think they're going to cut?
Yeah. Every year when we started this, we've always said there's going to be players getting cut that we absolutely fall in love with. And that's going to be the same for this year. You got Cinderella stories again happening. We just had one this past weekend, Macklin taking off. So they're good stories, but the business of it is just because someone has a great game does not mean that they'll make the team. Right. What it does is it adds to their resume. So their future on another team or the practice squad, maybe next year or two, if they develop, can become a reality. But to see these guys shine, you can't jump right to the gun and say, oh, no, there's a number 5 or 6 receiver. You can say, this guy's making a name for himself. I can't wait to see where he goes.
Yep. And you're right. It is a resume. And there's a lot of Bills players, I think, on the current roster.
Yep. Building the resume.
That will be making a difference on some other teams. With that being said, Week 2, 31-7. Buffalo Bills are 2-0 in the preseason. Bills dominate the Cleveland Browns, which is interesting, Jared, because they had joint practices with them all week. So they kind of, you think there was tells, you think there was understanding of how they play each other and how the offense runs things, how the defense runs things. But in live action, with the cameras running in game time situation, the Bills were still able to pull off a 31-7 shellacking. I mean, they kicked their ass.
Having joint practices doesn't necessarily mean that these players are given the best scenarios to be put in. It's practice. They're learning their way. They're trying different techniques, little situations here and there to see how it works. Concepcion, receiver that both Swank and I wanted, comes out after the joint practices and says this Bills defense ain't shit. Game time proved something different. Yep. And it's the perfect description of how the NFL actually is. Yes, joint practices and training camp, they're tough, but these are areas where players learn the game, develop the game, coaches learn the game, develop their scheme, and then what shows up on game day is the final product. And what you saw there was Concepcion running his mouth, not knowing, because he's a rookie, what the NFL game actually brings. And then they got their asses whooped. So keep talking, Rook.
Yeah, he got quieted pretty quick. Love it. And they learn quick sometimes. Sometimes you have talent around you enough to back up what you're saying, but like you said earlier, they're a dumpster fire in Cleveland. They're starting a questionable quarterback when they have 2 guys that could run a franchise, I believe, if given the right depth and the right situation. But Cleveland's just not doing that. Topic number 1, Jared. I sent you a bunch of topics today, and I think the ones I sent you are of a great, relevant conversation. Allen number 2, Kay Allen. We always talk about every year the backup quarterback, whether it's Trubisky, Allen in the past, all them is like, is our quarterback number 2 a guy that can come in, God forbid, if Josh Allen got injured for 3 or 4 games, could he win half of those? From what I'm seeing, I'll start off with this. 10 for 12 passing. He had similar numbers last week, 128 yards passing and a touchdown. No interceptions. Decisive. Looked confident. And we all know that the quarterback situation, the quarterback room there in Buffalo is as friendly as they get. They all become best friends. He made good decisions with the football. Yes, it's preseason. We've seen that before. Peterman looked good when he played for Buffalo. But there's just something about Kyle Allen that tells me, again, God forbid Allen was to go down, he could win half the games. He could. He understands the system. And with the running game that we have, and with the potential wide receiver core that we have, which I think, I mean, the more I watch it, the more I understand that this Bills wide receiver depth room is pretty damn strong. I think as long as Kyle Allen can manage a game if he has to, we're coming out with a victory. What say you?
Do you think Joe Brady's offense is geared towards Allen's specific ability to escape the pocket?
No.
So then I think Kyle Allen, whose ability to run is there, but him to be able to stay in the pocket and make these reads is promising. I think he can come in here and do it. Like you said, James Cook, best running back in the league last year. The tight end room, I would consider probably top 3, top 2 in the whole NFL. The wide receivers, we'll see DJ Moore, number 1 wide receiver, shining. Khalil Shakir, I'd argue he's the best slot receiver out there. And our offensive line has held Josh Allen upright for a majority of his career. So if all those could stay healthy, and God forbid, like you said, do we need Kyle Allen to step in? I think he can be a great quarterback, pocket quarterback. Will he get sacked probably a couple more times than Allen would? Yeah. But I don't think he's gonna go out there and lose the game.
Will he? I mean, I love Josh Allen. I've always said I love Josh Allen. But I've also knocked Josh Allen for maybe hanging on the ball a little too long. I've always said it. I mean, there's receipts. I have said it before. Brady, I just answered your question. I don't think Brady's offenses are tailored toward extending the play.
Right.
So honestly, I will say if Josh Allen could read a little quicker and read the defense a little quicker and not have to extend the play, I think he'd be a better quarterback than he is now. But what he does is also amazing. Kyle Allen is a quarterback that may be able to read a defense a little better. It's facts. Josh Allen extends plays because maybe there's still something missing. Now, don't take this little phrasing here totally in left field.
I'm clipping it.
You go ahead and clip it. Josh Allen extends plays sometimes because he doesn't make the read quite quick enough. Kyle Allen may be able to read a defense a little better. Who knows? Joe Brady does not tailor an offense based on, okay, let's see what happens 5-6 seconds after the play and how it breaks down. That's all wide receivers finding the open zone, finding the open areas, extending the play, rolling wherever Josh rolls. So that is not just Josh Allen extending the plays. The wide receivers and tight ends also have to understand that they have to extend the play. Offenses are built off a 3-step, a 5-step drop, read and react. So that's what Kyle Allen is doing. That's what Joe Brady's offense is about, and that's how Kyle Allen is responding. And Kyle Allen is responding very nicely.
Yeah, again, he's been very efficient.
Not saying he's better than Josh Allen.
Nope.
I'm just saying he might be able to read a little better and quicker. And we're seeing it in preseason, but again, it's preseason. Let's not put foot in mouth, Scott. But you know what I'm saying. You know what I mean? It's just one of those things. And I think Kyle Allen has Joe Brady's offense down from what we've seen so far. Very efficient passing, high reception rates or completion percentages.
Mm-hmm.
And not for nothing, Jared. These wide receivers are getting open.
There.
It's not like they're tight windows he has to throw it into.
Yeah, it's easy to throw to wide open guys. And I must also say, for all the pundits and everybody out there who doubted the backup room, they have legit reasons why, because nothing has been produced in their careers over the years. But Allen might have taken that with a little chip on his shoulder, and he's playing great preseason football. And, sometimes in the NFL, if you look back at the 90s, having a backup quarterback that is above average can save the day. Jim Kelly went down often, more than what we would like to see, but then Frank Reich stepped in and won games. He was efficient. He won games. He had Thurman Thomas, Andy Reid, James Lofton, Keith McKellar, Kent Hall, John Feeney. He had all those guys up front. I think Kyle Allen can be the modern day Frank Reich for us, especially if he keeps building on what he's doing so far this season.
All right, so I'm going to call the equipment manager, and I might call Kyle. You tell him he's got to wear 14.
All right,
he's got to start wearing number 14. So, Kyle Allen, he's won it. He's number 2 in your book?
Yep.
Okay. Do they keep it that safety number 3 now? Is that a thing still? QB number 3?
That's a weird thing. He could be on the field as the backup third string quarterback. Yep.
So Buchler or Buchler, however you want to say it.
Bevy
There you go.
Buchler.
Buchler. There you go. So I think our wide receiver room is set. Topic number 2. I'm going to say the topics because I want to be able for the fans to understand what we're talking about here. These players that we fall in love with that show up every week, it seems like Joe Andreesens of the world. This year, right now, Jamori Macklin, I think, is that guy. We saw the performance. He had 108 receiving yards, 1 touchdown, that big play where he broke a tackle, looked fast. And let me remind people what looking fast is and actually being fast. He ran a 4.5, 440, guys. He's not that 4.3 guy that you're like, oh my God, blowing you out of the water. But he looked like game speed. He was faster than anybody else on the field. So with Jamori Macklin, you have to bring up the question of what do we do with him? Is he one of those practice squad guys? Is he one of those guys where some teams are itching to give Bean a call and say, hey, listen, we need him on our roster? Or is he someone that's going to say, hey, we may bring in a 6th wide receiver and he's it? What a performance. He's becoming more than just a preseason story. He's a legit wide receiver for the Buffalo Bills right now. That's starting to look like a stacked wide receiver room. What's your take on him, brother?
Yeah, I listen to a lot of Matt Bove and Sal Capaccio. They have great insight of this game. Sal's actually on the sidelines, and so I listened to him a lot. And what I heard him say, talking about Macklin, is he's a great preseason story. We've had a lot of those throughout the Buffalo Bills, seasons, and he's one of them. He does not see him making the 53-man, even if they do keep 6, unless there's significant injuries to like Coleman or Skylar Bell. But he did give praise to Sherfield, who in the locker room has been noted to saying that he's understanding his role now as an NFL player. He's not going to be going out there and making all these catches and scoring these touchdowns. His role is all aspects of special teams, and that's where Sherfield's been making his name for himself this offseason and his past season is in the special team. So if you're going to carry 6, I think that's going to be a spot for him. My 6, if we're going to keep 6, is obviously DJ Moore, Khalil Shakir, Coleman, Joshua Palmer, Skylar Bell, and Sherfield. And I think Macklin will be practice squad.
There you go. Nate Nacho says Sherfield earned a spot, in my opinion.
Yep.
Was he always so jacked? The answer to that is yes. He played for Miami. He actually did a stint here in Buffalo for a minute. But he's always been a big dude. I think he's 6'1", 205, 210 pounds. Solid man.
Yep, and bearing injury, it's going to be interesting to see. I'm a firm believer that a lot of NFL fans and people who watch the game are thinking that Joe Brady's offense is going to bring a little bit more of the pass game this season. A lot of people believe this is Josh Allen's best season coming up. And in order for that to happen, I think we need to have a solid wide receiving core. And I think this might be the first time in a long time that the Bills do carry 6.
There you go. And so here's another topic to discuss. Ray Davis, obviously surprising one of the better kick returners last year, top during a majority of the regular season, top kick returner. He dabbled in punt returning a little bit. And they talked about it, and they were questioning it. I mean, I have my personal opinion about it. Obviously, I'm going to state it on here, fan first perspective, Bills fan here. But I want your take first, Jared. If Ray Davis, I think he's going to hold down the kick returner. He's a stud right now at running back number 2. I mean, he is creating space and getting a lot of rushing yards. Punt returner. If he is able to hold all I should have had a Michael Jackson slide in. If he holds all 3, that will obviously open up another position somewhere, extend a position out, maybe wide receiver number 5 to number 6. What's your take on Ray Davis punt returning? And what position, if he does take that, what position do you see opening up another slot?
Wide receiver is going to be one of them. Wide receiver, we got to have more weapons there. But also linebacker, that might open up. We have a great competition at linebacker. We have great linebackers that are displaying a lot of stuff too. We have another linebacker who can show special teams as well with Joe Adrezen. I think Jenkins, Dorian Williams, Caleb, and TJ or Bernard. Those are strong linebackers, and no one wants to get rid of any of them. And I know Joe Dreesen has shown promise this offseason and last year, but his name pretty much is on the special teams. I think he led the team in special team tackles last year. So he's going to be one of those guys that I think is actually going to struggle to make the team, but I think he's found his spot over the years on the special team, and I think that's where he's going to land. And Davis taking over the PR kick returning might actually open up a linebacker spot for Joe to stay.
And I'm glad you brought up Joe. And don't hate Jared for saying that, guys. We changed to a 3-4 defense. He was an amazing 4-3 off-ball linebacker. A 3-4 defense is a lot different. So all these linebackers that we had here in Buffalo had to adjust. And I don't see Joe not making the team, Jared, but I do see it being more difficult for him to earn a spot. If they do, I believe if they do keep Ray Davis as a punt returner, I see wide receivers being that added spot. I see 6 coming in, namely because I think Joe Brady is going to bring a more aggressive offense.
Yeah,
send him deep. We already saw Shakir's route tree extend out about 15 yards. He's doing more of those skinny posts, those deep mesh offenses where he's coming across man to man and going deeper. I think if you're introducing more of a passing game, a deep passing game, you're going to want to bring in one extra guy. So I think that would be a Sherfield or a Macklin. But I want to touch more on the Ray Davis thing and what punt returning means to him. For those of you who think, oh, he's a bigger guy, he's not as fast and all that stuff, you got to understand, punt returning, that first move is the biggest move. And he's got it. As a running back, that cut, that find the hole, and juke, Jared, you know this, one move says a story.
Mm-hmm.
As a running back, you make one cut, you get into the second level, it could be big time, or at least 5 yards. Punt return, you catch and you cut and you get past that first level. Guys, he may not be a guy that's going to take the ball 40, 50 yards down the field for a touchdown every time, but you make that first man miss, you've got yourself a 10, 15-yard return, which is pretty outstanding in the NFL for punt returning. So I like that for him. Just because he's not a thin, flashy guy, I don't mind that. I don't mind that at all. And what do we always say here on the K-Gun Report? Get Josh the ball.
Get Josh the ball.
So for me, if he can catch it,
mm-hmm.
secure it, and hell, if he can get 5, 10, 15 yards, then Josh Allen's coming out on the field and our offense is rolling. So I like the opportunity for Ray Davis to expand his role. I think he's all about it. And we all know here in Buffalo, if you could do many things, you're going to be on the roster. So we already know he's on the roster, but he's showing promise, and I'm excited for it. I would not mind him being a punt returner. What's that mean for Mecole Hardman, Jared Hardman? Do you see him not making it now?
Yeah. Nope.
Is he expendable?
He is. He was last year. He's what do you have? 5 targets this past game, only made 2 catches. So He's not holding that end up on it. Regarding that statement you just made about the punt returning, those gunners, if a punt returner can make that gunner miss right off the bat, then he's going to have a couple yards to make up the field. The fact that Davis led the NFL in kickoff return average last year says something. That's no slouch, especially with the new kickoff return rules. It's like a punt now. Mm-hmm. But if Ray can hold down the kick returns and get the punt returns, make that first cut and go and average above the NFL average, and then be a spell for about 3 or 4 or 5 carries in the backfield. There's this offseason, they mentioned something. People made a big story about Ray Davis possibly saying he wanted more on the offense, but I think he's the type of player that whatever way he can make this team better, he's going to. And if that's punt return, kick return, and backup running back, man, you got to let it go. I mentioned earlier, we watched Wheeler take off, have a couple of good practices, and have a good game. And I kind of threw Ty Johnson under the bus, so I apologize to that publicly, even though I didn't say it publicly. Ty Johnson's a different beast. He's the best third down back in the NFL. The Buffalo Bills love him as the third down receiving running back. He'll be here as long as he's healthy. So those are our 3 running backs. It's going to be Cook, Davis, and Ty Johnson if he's healthy. And Wheeler will be on the practice squad.
Is Davis taking that punt returning position, opening up another spot for running back?
No.
Okay. I had to throw that in there.
No.
So that's our offensive discussion. I think they showed a lot of promise. We're scoring 30+ points already. Again, it's preseason, guys. We're not getting too homer optimistic about it, but it is what it is. We'll talk about the defense, but let's go ahead and hear a word from our sponsor.
Right in the heart of the Finger Lakes, Phelps, New York, two local favorites are bringing people together. At Otis and Lisa, it's all about flavor. Finger Lakes' finest wings, fresh made pizza, and the kind of quality you don't just find anywhere. It's something you come back for. Then just down the road, step into Dirty Jack's Tavern, a true local hangout. Cold local beers, a welcoming atmosphere, and a place where everyone feels at home. Owned by Andy and Lisa Mattoon, it's more than great food and drinks. It's about community, connection, and supporting Phelps every day. Come for the food, stay for the people, be part of something local.
Be a part of something local. Thank you, Otis and Lisa's and Dirty Jacks, for being our sponsor this year. If you guys are in the area, I don't know, maybe September Labor Day weekend, and you're calling it a weekend out in the Phelps, Manchester, Clifton Springs area, and you're going to Reinvention and you're spending the night somewhere in a hotel or something like that, head out to Phelps. They got a lot to offer. They got the bar and the pizza joint, and you won't miss with that one. Trails End also sponsor. There's a place in Dresden where the air smells like Sunday morning. Fresh bread, sizzling bacon, and coffee that would make you with a smile. At Trails End Restaurant, comfort food isn't just a menu item, it's a promise. Hearty homestyle meals made fresh, quality ingredients. Pies made that very morning, and folks who greet you like a family, even if it's the first time through the door. Stop by Trails End Restaurant today, Route 14, Main Street, Dresden, because sometimes the best trails lead you home. Go out there and get the burrito. And they keep your coffee. They keep your coffee cup full, which is a big time.
Yeah.
They do fill up quick though. It's not a huge place, but they got plenty of seating and they fill up pretty quickly.
Well, I just want to add something to this offense. I don't know if you put this guy in the offensive category, but we do have big boot babyface bass stickers. If you want them, just send us a yes, we want that sticker, and we will send them out to you. 52-yard field goal, made all his extra points. Our babyface bass is back, baby.
And what Jared's referring to, obviously we have stickers. We have 24/7 Buff Pandemonium, FLX Mafia stickers, and this is at no cost. We'll send you an envelope full of them. But a Bigfoot babyface bass is a nickname we gave him when he was drafted as a rookie. He looks so young. He's got that little eye patch underneath him. It's just a nickname we gave him, but we have stickers for it. So holler at us if you want them. So fittingly enough, Nate Nacho says, how about D-line roster, especially with the recent signing of veteran Gaines? Right now, our defensive line, we do run the 3-4 defense. So our defensive line right now is on the end, the defensive ends, I have Ed Oliver, TJ Sanders, Landon Jackson, Zane Durant, the rookie from Penn State, and Dwayne Carter and Zion Logue. Our defensive tackles, or nose tackles, would be Deion Walker, the newly acquired from Tampa Bay, Greg Gaines, and Dwayne Carter. I just mentioned him. So how about our D roster, Jared, especially the recent signing of Mr. Gaines? He came from Tampa Bay, 6'1", 315, a little bigger than the normal size defensive tackle that Leonard likes to have there. But so is Deion Walker. Deion Walker is an anomaly of a nose tackle. How you feeling about our defensive line?
Feeling pretty good. I'm feeling pretty good. Like you said, Deion Walker is just he's gonna go nuts this year. Ed Oliver's back from his little break there. He had an injury, that's why he missed this last game. Man, my heart goes out to him and his family, though, and it's heartbreaking how everything came out. Shame on you, News, for doing him dirty. But Ed Oliver, just so you know, once I heard that, baby, my heart was broken for you. So we love you. You do what you have to do, young man. I understand if you take the season off. I do. I seriously do. But we're thinking about you. But other than that, I know that's rough news to bring up, but I think it looks pretty good. You know, after we get Mathis gets out of his 4 game suspension, he's a beast. Dwayne Carter, he's coming in. He had a couple good plays this past week, and then Zane Durant, the rookie. But Greg Gaines, he kind of excites me. He's a hog molly up front that plugs up the middle. They just brought him in last week. I think he's had a game before he actually had a practice with the Bills. So Jim Leonard will get him in his way. He's used to that 3-4 defensive scheme. So another player they're building or bringing in that is used to the system. So I think it looks good.
I thought it was an amazing piece. I think quietly they're making this defensive line look pretty damn dangerous. And, we mentioned before when the draft came along with this, the defensive style that they run, the 3-4 nose tackle, generally speaking, should be a hog molly. But Leonard likes to bring in these 6-foot guys, 300 pounds, 295, 305 guys that take up a gap. But we have, as I mentioned, a guy that is an anomaly in Deion Walker. He does what a 6-foot flat, 295, 300-pound defensive lineman does at the humongous size that he is. So I think that's a blessing in the Bills' previous drafts. But then they bring in a Gaines who's 6'1", 315 pounds that is bigger than their the position that they usually have there. And they're getting the most. They're going to get the most. I like this pickup. And with that suspension for Mathis, Jared, it may be detrimental to his ability to make a roster spot.
Yeah,
I'm telling you what, if Gaines picks it up and he's able to do what he did in Tampa Bay, it's going to be tough. It definitely is going to be tough. Paulette says my heart's broken for the Oliver and family. Definitely is. Definitely is. I have 4. Jared has 4 kids. It hits. It does. And just as I always say, kiss them on the forehead. Love them today. Kids are amazing, and it sucks when that kind of shit happens. Where do all these people fit when everyone gets back and healthy? I know. From YouTube, Ed. What's up, Ed Ryan? For those of you who are not on YouTube that follow us, join us on YouTube. We're trying to grow that page as well. We're up almost to 400 viewers, but it'd be awesome to keep growing and subscribe. So, but you're right. When all these people start getting healthy, where do they fit?
Where's the put Buffalo at a good spot? Let's just say that.
Bad thing.
No,
it's not a bad thing, but you're right. Maybe it warrants some trade bait and all that good stuff, right? Jared, let's talk defense. I have here in my notes, they held Cleveland to 7 points. They practiced with them all week and still figured out how to stifle them. DeMar Hamlin had an interception. Corey Couch had an interception. We had multiple tackles for loss. Run defense looks better than it ever has. Again, preseason. But the run defense looks like it stifles the offense pretty well. I think we are starting to see a little bit of the Jim Leonard identity. Stop the run, create pressure, create turnovers. Jared, the question to you, and again, it's preseason. I mean, we keep saying that because we're obviously there. Is this something that you see Jim Leonard's defense continuing throughout the season?
Yeah, the quick answer is going to be yes. I mentioned last week that Jim Leonard is surprised actually in how fast everyone's gaining and understanding this defense. It seems to be going, and everything's coming together quicker than he expected. Yes, I think this will continue, especially when the first week of practice comes in, when you have to put a plan together. This defense is playing without pretty much a scheme. They're going out there to see the nuts and guts of these guys to see what they can do with a straight 3-4 defense. Yeah, they throw blitzes in there and stuff, but when they start planning stuff, it's going to just become more chaotic. You got players like, and I'm going to say, Jordan Hancock, because I think he's going to be the preseason all-star. Yeah, this guy on defense is just blowing people up, making the right reads. And it's not only him. It seems like all these young players are going on instinct, and it seems to be the right instinct every time. And I don't know if that's what Jim Leonard means by a freer defense. I don't know if what that means if when the linebackers and the linemen say that they're going to play more free. Is it allowing these players to play on instinct now, which could be annoying at sometimes, because if someone gets a hold of the instincts and takes advantage of it, it could make for a big play. But I feel like if you trust these players and they trust everyone behind them, This could be a scary defense right off the bat. Pundits and other professionals have said that Jim Leonhard will probably be a starting or a coach within the next 3 or 4 years. He's a coach that everybody has is rising quickly with his beliefs and his new schemes and his new views on football. And we might be seeing it right now, right in front of us, happening this preseason. And hopefully it does carry on throughout the season, because if it does, and I tell everybody, look at Seattle. If you have a good defense, man, if the Bills have a better defense than they had last year, even if they move up from 23rd to 15, if they have an average defense, they will be making it to the promised land.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I love what you say about Jim Leonard's defense. And is he relying more on defensive instinct? And that's a great theory. I mean, that's a great thought process to think, okay, well, I'm going to have a defense where I am no longer going to try to man up on someone and try to move them. I'm going to go to my gap responsibility, A gap, B gap, C gap, whatever you want to call it. I'm going to go to my gap responsibility. And once I fill my responsibility in the gap, I'm going to rely on my instinct. I'm going to plug that hole, and then I'm going to rely on what I'm seeing. I think gap responsibility defense allows more of that to happen. Don't you agree?
Yeah.
Even teaching the youth, we got our defensive line slanting or pinching or going outside to fill a gap, and then we're telling our linebackers to fill whatever gap is not being called. I think once you get kids or anybody in a gap, then it becomes, let's follow my gut. I already plugged one thing. Now let's flow to the ball and figure out where it is. And that's instinct. That's taking the right angle. That's feeling something. I'm in the gap. I got to get out of the gap now because the ball went somewhere else. I think if you start relying on kids' instincts in the game, in the NFL game, they got there for a reason, Jared. They got there for a reason. These kids are talented. And most of the reason why they're talented is because they played with their heart and their instincts, and that's why they're there. And I think if you're thriving off that and you're utilizing that, it's only going to build confidence in them, and it's going to make your defense better. So I love it. I love it. I do think that this defense is going to rely on pressure and turnovers. We've already seen a handful of turnovers, opportunistic turnovers. What's that saying? I can never remember it. Like luck is preparation and something else coming together.
Yeah, preparation meets opportunity.
Yes, and that's what it is. So we're going to see a lot more pressure. We're going to see more sacks. We're going to see turnovers. Will we see some big plays? I think with that kind of defense, you're gonna have to. One doesn't come without the other. But if you can minimize those big plays and jump on the opportunity to get those turnovers and sacks and pressure, I think you're better off for it. And like you said, if the Bills defense becomes a top 5 defense, a top 10 defense, better than last year, and this offense is just a little better, yep, we'll be. The K-Gun report will be going into February.
I don't know if you said I don't think we're going to have to depend on turnovers for this defense. I think the turnovers will come, but I don't think it's going to be like 2 years ago's defense where there was bend but don't break and then got the turnover. I don't think it's going to be anything like that. I think it's going to be, they're going to pressure. They're going to have lots of 3 and outs. The turnovers will come, but if they don't, they're going to still cause the other team to kick the ball.
Right. There you go. All right. Well, we got 4 minutes left in the K-Gun report.
Call it 14.
Let's call it 14. Jared, I've been up since 6. I had football practice today, and
so I'll follow your lead.
There you go. Let's enter the final 5-minute debate, and this is going to be a rapid question. Obviously, I want the followers to join in this conversation. Leave a comment. We've answered a lot of these questions throughout the show, but it's kind of a recap. MVP. Give me an MVP for the Browns game, and then follow up with your MVP for these first 2 preseason games. A guy that's making a name for himself that would not have been on the 53-man roster come before the preseason, but you think might make it now.
Oh, so they couldn't be on the 53. Okay, so yeah, making a name for themselves even in this past game. It's gonna be Macklin. Jamari Macklin with a catch. You said 4.5 speed, but he looked faster than that. It's because of one move. He had the football speed. He got around everybody. So he's making a good resume and a good name for himself. The MVP of the Browns game, I want to say I'm going to use 2 games as well. I think it's Jim Leonhard, our defensive coordinator. I think the fact that he can get these players to follow what he believes in and the scheme, and all these players are following suit, I think that's a wonderful thing. And I'm just going to throw out one more. DeMar Hamlin. Every year we have doubts of him making the team. 5 tackles, 1 interception in the right place at the right time. Many pundits, Sal Capaccio even says it. Every team has this guy. He's not. You don't want him to play the whole season, all 17 as a starter, but you want him on your team to fill in for injuries. And DeMar Hamlin is again proving to the NFL, to Bills Mafia, why he belongs on the NFL team. And I'm glad he's with us. So DeMar Hamlin is again showing why he deserves to be on this roster. So that's that.
There you go. And not for nothing, I think we could put away the verbiage, the conversation of he's just on the team because they feel bad for him. I mean, he's legit an awesome backup. Again, you don't want him having to be your starter for all 17 games, but he's done enough where he deserves to be as a player on this 53-man roster. Robbie from 716 Sports Blizzard says, "Hi, Jared Scott. What's up, Robbie?"
Hey, Robbie.
I'm going to second that. Jamari Macklin, I think, would be the guy that deserved the MVP for the Browns game. Did he move the needle for himself as far as being a roster spot for the Buffalo Bills? Maybe. If they keep 6, maybe. But he definitely moved the needle for the 31 other teams in the NFL to have a look to see this guy can route run, he can catch, and he has some breakaway speed. My 2-game MVP has got to be Kyle Allen. It's got to be him. I think he's shown enough to calm us Bills fans as a whole. There's still going to be negative Bills fans out there that say if Josh Allen's done, there's no way we're making it. But there's got to be a little bit of, I'll actually say what Nacho said, a little bit of ease as a backup quarterback. Keeping in mind, guys, we're not going to have a backup like someone that started for many teams before in the past. That's just not how the Bills run. That's not how the Bills can afford. That's not what they can afford. But Kyle Allen's done enough. I think he's the MVP. It'd be interesting to see who plays this Thursday. This might be final, like two or three players that need to fill the roster kind of thing on Thursday. But I'm excited for Kyle. Yeah, I think he's our MVP. Let's do this. Is the defense better than it was a year ago? Preseason, guys, let me throw that up there. Preseason, this is not live game, regular season action, but what you're seeing so far as scheme goes and how the players look. I mean, there's still a look to it.
Yeah, they are. It's a different defense. Yes, they are better than they are last year so far. They weren't that great last year. So, like I said, if they can I think they were 23rd, or probably even worse. I think, from what I've heard, the energy on this defense is like unmeasurable. Obviously, when you win, it brings a different demeanor. When you're having a successful defense, shutting teams out, it brings a different mojo. But from what Sal said, and Matt Beauvais said, and other pundits have said, they are a pumped defense. They're excited because they know that they can play free and they can run around and make plays and be football players. Yep. And I think just that in itself makes them better.
Well, I've noticed for sure that the defense is faster. They fly to the ball a lot quicker, and they're able to cut off the angles. The pursue, the contain is a lot better. That's why a run game is a lot different. Our run defense is a lot different. So I'm with you on that. Being able to play free and they're a lot faster is going to make this defense a lot better. I do believe that defense can be better than it was the last couple of years. How much time we got? We're over. Let's go into overtime. We're in overtime. Jerry, what position still worries you?
Oh, yeah. I don't think there is one. Maybe safety. Safety still worries me. I know Cole Bishop, he's healthy. But I think CJ Gardner-Johnson, I'd like to know what his status is. I think he's going to be good to go. DeMar Hamlin, I think he's a good backup, but that's the only position that really, really scares me right now. Doesn't really scare me, but that would be the one that I worried most about. I think the linebackers are there. I think we have them. We just need to find a placing for them. CB, we have depth on it. Corner with a nickel, I think we have 2 guys that can actually fill that spot very well. So I think the defense is good, except for those safeties. And the offense, I think we're great. So
I'm going to answer this leaving some question. I don't think there's a position that worries me. I think there's a position where we need to really figure out who's the best fit. I love Jalen Kilgore as a nickelback. D. Alford right now has it. That might be a position that is the biggest battle on defense to see who actually takes that spot, because we all know how important that nickelback is considering the tight ends we play and the slot receivers we play this year. Ed Ryan says, I think Bosa was not utilized the right way. He was out of position. I believe so. Plus, he got injured. He also says, how you feeling about Bass? I'm pretty confident in Bass. Kick a couple more confidence booster kicks, and we'll be all set. Ace Boogie says, upcoming season, Jets, you already know. 10-7, Patriots 9-8, Bills 8-9, Dolphins 2-15. There you go.
I remember my first beer.
Hey, lay off the pipe, buddy. Lay off the pipe. But welcome to the show, Ace Boogie. Thanks for joining in on the comments. Are you a Jets fan? I'm wondering. Yep. But thanks for the comments on YouTube. Share us, man. Like, subscribe, do all that good stuff. That's Ace Boogie 302 at J5S. Gotta have one, right? But we're hoping. We always hope that the AFC East gets stronger. Mm-hmm. No one likes a guaranteed playoff week. It's nice, but do we really want it by week 10, by week 11? Not really. We like competition there, and it's called rivalry for a reason. We want it to be a tough matchup. So it is what it is. Buffalo Spartan, this is Sparta. Totally late tonight, but Mafia mount up. What's up, Buffalo Spartan? They'll be at the Rager. Mafia vets, they'll be at this year's regular season Rager. Ace Boogie gives us a pound. There you go. All right, guys, it is that time. I don't have the overtime button. Thank you all for joining in on the comments, joining the conversation. This is what the platform is all about. We love to hear your voice. All Bills fans' voices need to be heard, especially if you have good opinions. You know what I mean? And it's tough. Not everyone's going to start their own podcast, their own live stream. Sometimes coming on something like this and leaving a comment is a beautiful thing, and we're more than happy to share it. Let me hit up on our sponsor at Otis Lisa and Dirty Jacks. Right in the middle of the Finger Lakes, Phelps, New York. 2 local favorites are bringing people together at Otis Lisa's. It's all about flavor, Finger Lakes' finest wings, fresh made pizza, and the kind of quality you don't just find anywhere. It's something you come back for. Then just down the road, right around the corner, step into Dirty Jack's Tavern, a true local hangout. Cold local beers, a welcoming atmosphere, and a place where everyone feels at home. Owned by Andy and Lisa Mattoon, it's more than great food and drinks. It's about community, connection, and supporting Phelps, New York, every day. Come for the food, stay for the people, be a part of something special. That's Otis and Lisa's Dirty Jacks. Love you guys out there in Phelps. Thank you for being a year-round sponsor. Jerry, we have a show next week, Tuesday, 8:30, as we always do, the K-Gun Report. We will be discussing the last preseason game. We will be hyping up this year's regular season rally again, September 5th, 1 o'clock, 7 o'clock at Reinvention Brewing. We will have a live stream podcast going. There's three of us going on throughout the day. We'll be live streaming straight from there. We have popcorn vendors, food vendors, merchandise. We have a beer release. We have 50/50 raffles, all that awesome stuff, all in one location for 6 hours on that Saturday, September 5th. Mark Maddox will be joining us, signing autographs, having that conversation with you guys. Can't wait for it. If you have not already, the event is on Facebook, on social medias. Please share. Get all these Bills fans around the Finger Lakes area to come out. If you're from Buffalo or around the surrounding area, make a trip. Phelps, Finger Lakes, it's a beautiful area, a lot to offer. As I just mentioned, we have pizza places in Otis and Lisa's, bars like Dirty Jacks and Reinvention Brewing. We have a foodery out there in Dresden called Trails End. There's a lot to offer, guys. So come on out, enjoy the weekend out here, Labor Day weekend for our regular season rally. Jared, we always do a final thought. Give us one.
Yeah, the season is upon us. One more preseason game. Thursday night against the Steelers. There's, like Scott said, there's going to be 2 or 3 spots that are fighting for it. So pick your favorite spot and watch them. Come back Tuesday and talk about it. I like to see Landon Jackson do a couple more things. I think he's building a nice little preseason. I can't wait to see what he does. But that being said, the following week is leading into it. This is going to be the first time in a long time, I think ever. The Bills are going to have 17 days off between this last game and the regular season game. So they're going to have a nice break. Josh Allen's healthy. James Cooks is healthy. This is the time for recovery. Buffalo Bills players, if you're out there and you need any extra therapies, come out to Clifton Springs Hospital. I'm a massage therapist out there. I'll work on you for free. Anyway,
Not at the
till next time.
hospital.
Oh yeah, no, they'll make it work. They'll make it
Oh,
work.
there you go. There you go.
But next Tuesday, we'll see you again. I know it's kind of late. It's 9:30. Go find your little kiddo and give it a kiss goodnight. Love you guys. Go Bills.
Yep. And the reason Jared says that, obviously, the latest news with the Ed Oliver story leaking and all that, privacy was not given when asked. But at the end of the day, there's a 2-year-old that's no longer with us, and a father and a family that's missing the hell out of them. So, and take it as it is. Enjoy your little ones. You take for granted how easily and quick something can be taken away from you. So
that's the thing that's haunting me a lot is you could be the best parent in the world and you turn your head for 1 second and a tragedy happens, especially if it's in the water. Water is known as a silent killer. You can't hear anything. They could be right behind you. So my wife and I's biggest nightmare is the water. So that's why we're always, if you're going swimming, okay, who's out there with you? We're going to be there. So the fact that that's how it happened absolutely breaks my heart. Like I said, go give your kiddos a kiss. Yep. Squeeze them tight.
Squeeze them tight. K-Gun Report every Tuesday, 8:30. Sunday sessions will be coming up shortly. Our official Bills Mafia pregame show, the Buff Fan Base Network, the official pregame show. We go live an hour and a half before every game. We give our last final thoughts before the game starts. Hit us up all over social media. We thank you for the support already as it is. We will talk to you next Tuesday. Might have a guest, might not. We'll keep that at our little secret, but keep your eyes out. Social media. Our events are always posted on Facebook. So until then, we love you. Thanks for the comments. Cheers and go Bills.
Go Bills, baby.
Go Bills.